Welcome to the Swim Swam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining us today, he is a high-performance consultant for Philippines Swimming. He's the head coach of Zenta Pro Swimming. He was also the head coach of Team Iron and the ISL. Today, we're going to talk about all those coaching factors and a few more with Mr. Luka Gabrilo. How's it going, man?
My pleasure to be here. Thank you. It's going to be an interesting topic. I hope. Excited.
I'm excited to talk about your current coaching situation too, because you're kind of all over the place. You're coaching a few different elite level athletes from a few different countries. So first off, you are currently in Austria right now. Who are you coaching at this moment, today, tomorrow in Austria?
Today, tomorrow, it's here, Barbora Seemanova. It's in this moment with me here in Austria, like physically. I'm coaching remote for the next 8 days, Kayla Sancehz in Philippines, because then she's gonna join me for a competition. Hopefully, we need to receive the okay from the FINA because the residence period in Philippines. We will see how they're gonna manage this. I cannot ensure that's gonna happen, but that's the plan. And I'm coaching remotely again the same way Robert Glinta until the competition, and he's in Romania. So we have this period. We were about 1 month together now in Asia. Now we have this 10, 14 days where we are, each one is at his own place. Barbora just joined me here to continue the work. Yeah, that's the actual situation in terms of coaching.
So you were just in the Philippines with Barbora and Kayla as well. How did you get hooked up with the Philippines and become a high performance consultant for them and end up working with Kayla?
Do you want the real answer? Like, it might take maybe 1 minute longer, but it's more interesting because all this story, what you're going to ask me, it's about how things are happening. I think if I understood your question, it's how things are happening. And this is the part. So I used to be the head coach of Team Israel from 2017 to 21 until the Olympics. And during the last pre-camp, we picked Philippines. And after the Olympics, I decided to quit swimming, basically, coaching and everything. Actually, before the Olympics, I realized that I didn't want to do this anymore. And then Iron came in, and some swimmers during the Olympics and during Irons convinced me to go pro, to have a team to train together. And in the meantime, I got an offer from several federations. For privacy reason, I cannot name them, but we're talking about 4 or 5 federations asking different positions from head coaching until consultancy until checking their development of the National High Performance Center. And I had to refuse all of them because I couldn't work for a federation on a classic way anymore. Nothing bad against people, but it's definitely not my way. For your information, I never coached basically in a club. Maybe like 2 years kids, they were less than 10 years old. And from that moment, I was catapulted international swimming. That was 2009, 2010. And so I know only federations. I don't know anything else basically. As a coach or first team manager that I used to be, and I realized that I wished to change this path. It was not what was exciting me anymore. It was too much politics and interest and making people happy instead of focusing, enjoying swimming and working with the athletes. So yeah, I decided to stop. And then Philippine came in and asked me in a very nice way. And the president of the Philippine, Lani Velasco, she's very particular person in terms of ideas. She convinced me basically without giving me any money. So if many people think, oh, Luka's going to Philippines because he's like putting million in his pocket, I can tell you that's not true. I'm in the Philippines because, and I told you, I accept this. Nobody knew about this, but I accept this before knowing about Kayla. I didn't know about Kayla. So I accepted because I said, okay, I will start from zero. I like the idea from start with a very low level country compared to what I used to and what I could do actually, and try to change something. And then of course came in Kayla and became, okay, now you have 2 very different jobs, coaching the top athlete and mentoring the coaches and athletes that are swimming, men on the level of Kayla that swim much slower than her. It's a big challenge. I love the idea. I believe the most interesting part of my job, it's interfering is wrong. working with the cultural aspect of the country and try to change the high performance culture. This is my core business in terms of federation, working on the high performance culture, because you can have any strategy that you want, you can have any plan that you want. Culture, we eat strategy for breakfast. There is no way to beat culture. So whatever I'm trying to do, I realize is the first thing you need to do. You need to work with the country, with the mentality, with the system, and from inside, like with the Trojan horse, change it. And the Philippines came just, okay, I like this lady, I like the place. They offer me good holidays if you want to know. Yeah, that's cool. That's it, but that's not the part that convinced me again. It's the treatment, it's the human connection, the place. And then when Kayla became just, okay, I said, okay, that fits with my program, with my idea. And I like Kayla. I mean, we like each other very much in terms of how I'm working and how is reacting. So became like, oh, wow, that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. When Kayla came to the Philippines, did she know that you were going to be there? Did she have another coach in mind that she was going to work with?
Apparently, I don't know this. They told me this. Kayla told me this. Miss Velasco, the president, told me this. The final step of Kayla deciding she needed also a coach. And then when the president told her that I will be the coach there, which I didn't know this. I love when people do these tricks behind my back, if it's on the positive way. So I appreciate this. And that's what Kayla knew. Kayla knew about me. Yes. I didn't know about the Kayla. Kayla knew about me.
Okay. Gotcha. Nice. So then now you're kind of going back and forth between, you were just in the Philippines, you're in Austria. You also spend time in Tenerife, which is an island in Spain, or off the coast of Spain rather. So you're kind of bouncing around to all these different places, coaching athletes remote, sometimes coaching in person. What works for you about this method of kind of hopping around all over and sometimes coaching in person, sometimes coaching not in person?
It happened during COVID first, because being unable to be in Israel for a period, I started realizing that something can happen online with motivated people. Let's make like a big separation is, I will never work in my life anymore with not motivated athletes. They can be Olympic champion, they can be son of God, they can be whatever they want. I will not work with non-motivated people. It doesn't mean they need to be high level. I don't mean that I want to work with Olympic champion only. No, I'm not saying this at all. I'm saying if there is a kid ultra motivated, his talent, his level is not interesting me too much, I want to work with people that can do something. So during COVID, I realized that things are possible with motivated people. Some people from very good with a distance program, having good assistants also, because each of these guys remote has an assistant there working with them. He's not alone by himself. And this project started last year. And last year, my group was around 10, 12 swimmers with another coach. And that's when I realized during Budapest, the World Championships and the preparation to the World Championship, there was so much work to do for me to find a way to work, to make the system work. It's a new system. It's very complicated. Founding, it's super complicated. I guess it's going to be your future question, one of your future questions. So it was so hard to do this. I was a manager, coach, a father, a husband, and a human. And with 10, 12 swimmers was just too much. I was not able anymore to give the people that really need my help 100%. I was not able to do this. When I understood this, I decided, okay, the team is going from 10, 12 to 4, 5 people, and that's it. Because with those people, when they are remote, I speak with them maybe twice per day. So we're spending 1 hour per day on the phone, or discussing, or sending videos, or having feedbacks, or just discussing how was the pizza, or how is the, it's more than a training group. It's really like people that have like a common goal, and it's a win-win, lose-lose situation for all of us. And we commit to the fact that we want to change the approach to swimming in terms of training and looking at it. As you said, it's a unique approach, but it's taken by every part. When I work in Switzerland, when I was the coach and the head coach of the National High Performance Center, we had Ian Thorpe there. We have Andre Greshin. We have Teresa Alzheimer for a short period. Was already the idea of having international group. Then I moved in Charlotte with Coach Marsh. He inspired me a lot about this. I owe him a lot of my career. Not as much as Gennadi Touretski, which was my mentor. Sorry, I had to mention him. He's not with us anymore, but that man changed my life completely. And was not an easy path, but I owe him everything that I do in sport to him and my mother, because she was my first inspiration, was an Olympic champion, by the way. I owe to my mother and Gennadi Touretski everything what I'm doing. And then came Marsh. He showed me what it's Team Elite project. I saw stuff inside. I saw very good things. I saw some mistakes. I saw things that I want to do differently. And when the project of Israel was over and the ISL was going on, I realized that, you know what, I can do it actually by myself. I need just to do it. And if I look stupid, I don't really care about this. If I fail, I enjoy doing something different because I really dislike the system of swimming as it now. Dislike doesn't mean that I won't want to work against, but I think it's not the most beneficial for the swimmers and it's not more dynamic. We could take much more out of this. So I prefer to jump out of it and do it on my way.
Yeah. So you alluded to this. What does that way look like? What does your way look like, especially with the mentors you have had, David Marsh at Team Elite and Swim Mac, and then I'm sorry, your other mentor, I don't want to butcher his name.
Touretski.
Touretski, yes. What have you taken from them to put into your own mold?
From Gennadi, I took the fact is, it was one sentence is, whatever you are in your life, be a rock. Because when it's gonna come storm, people will catch the rock and we stay attached to the rock. So what does it mean is, be in the middle, don't move, don't react, and keep going forward. This is the hardest thing to learn in my career so far. That's the things that I learned suffering the most because I'm an emotional person, and being able to stay steady and to let stuff go, especially now that I'm solo. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's just one delusion after the other. It's being tricked one day after the other. It's being disappointed one day after the, and you take everything so personal. It's so hurting, everything that's happening, that I needed really to put I cannot curse, my stuff together and not to react and move on, because crying, it will not help me anyhow. And the people that are next to me deserve a rock that show them the light is that direction. I don't give up. We are right. We are having success. Keep moving on. From Marsh, mostly I took the idea is that's also business out of the technical part. We're not talking about swimming, right? We're talking about management. So they've shown me that you can be all over if you have a clear path, which means I created my frame. In my frame that I have around me, I can be chaotic, but I cannot break my frame. What does it mean? It means that I have specific rules, which is exactly what I told you. I realized that I cannot have 10 swimmers. It costed me to cut out some really good swimmer, tell them, please find another solution. I suggest you to go there. It costed me my fame, maybe some money, maybe they're going to be better next year and I could get the results, but it's not about taking the results of them. I want something that I know that I was part of this. I know that I changed them. So that's what I understood from Dave. You can manage this. You can be the high performance consultant from a country and you have your team here, and then you move team here and you make them interact, and every time everybody takes benefit of this. Tough, very, very tough, but it's possible. The only problem is new. People are not willing to let the old system go, but it's inevitable. If we want to move swimming on, the pro teams needs to take not over, that's wrong, need to grow and need to be an alternative for who wants to do something different than the classical system. I just saw one team member from last year from my team, Linnea Mack, an amazing lady from California. Now they created the Aloha, I just read the name, Aloha team, pro team in Hawaii. So it's happening. And she's an amazing person. She will give such a big boost to this team, and I hope that these guys grow because they have big names inside. They're gonna have definitely more success of recognition than myself, because I didn't want to have people promoting me. I just said no publicity, any PR to make this grow. It's my work and my image that's gonna do this. But I see that's happening, and I hope that more of them are gonna come. So to answer your question, is the main thing I learned is this is a business that can bring benefits for the swimmers.
So the swimmers you're working with now, Kayla, Barbora, and Glinta, Robert Glinta.
And Persson.
Sorry?
Erik Persson.
Oh, and Erik, yes. Erik Persson of Sweden. So you've been working with a few of them, I'm pretty sure, for at least a year or two now. So what are you learning about this new smaller group, what are you picking up? What are you learning about these athletes now that you're a little more zoomed in and focused on them?
I mean, I will not tell you weird stuff, but like I learned about Glinta from last season. Professionally, personally, I think I know about him as much as his family member, and he knows about me. Like, we went through the system that now when I communicate with Robert in one text message, it's a live story inside. We don't need to talk too much. We know each other. We understand each other. When he's texting in the morning, my stroke was like this. I didn't feel this. I know exactly what he means. So, okay, let's adapt for the afternoon and let's do this kind of set, because we're supposed to be 8-100. Let's do 6-100, but with the pull boy in the band, and focus on the end of the stroke, because that was your message. So the communication became much more clear, and the needs of the swimmer are more clear. And the most important part, the responsibility of the swimmer. That's what is different now. I have these 4 people, maybe 5 or 6 that are around. While talking with you, I got just one message from a swimmer now. I'm not kidding. I cannot say the name. I guess she will not be happy. Okay, now you know that's a she. But yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe people can come. I see myself as a service delivery. So if you come and you want to buy a season plan, let's go. You want to work until Paris together, if it's okay for me and for my team. Because if I bring a new team member, I need veto. So just to let you, like, my 4 guys, they can say, like, I have a veto. I don't want this person. Fair enough. You have the priority. That's my core. And from technically wise, I can tell you from Seemanova, every single lap how many strokes she's doing. If it's warm up, if it's aerobic set, if it's anaerobic, if it's race pace, how many times she breathes, where she does breathe, what's the mistake of breathing. Like today we did a test that I'm doing regularly and was the best set ever. I can tell you exactly what was every part of this test they improved from the previous one. And that I'm a technique nerd. I'm a huge nerd of swimming. I love technique more than anything else, more than any program and stuff. And working on their technique is the key, in my opinion, and the same part, the most enjoyable part. So I learned to know them much better than I used to do before. And I have time to dedicate to them with pleasure. It's not that you have 10 people to analyze videos. You have 3, 4. That's doable. 10, man, it was killing me. I was losing the passion to do this.
Oh, I can imagine. That seems much more manageable. I have to wonder, what was this test set that Seemanova did this morning?
It's 450s, 450s descending the time and counting the strokes. I'm a stroke counter. I like efficiency. And then you do 4-100, where you repeat each 50 twice. So if you start, I don't know, 35 seconds, the first 50, with 20 strokes, the first 100 needs to be 35 with the same number of strokes. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning, it's easy. But the last one, when this morning she went 31.5 with 23 strokes, okay? And then she went to 100, 31.5, 32.0 with 22 and 24 strokes. Man, this is like men swimming. That's not women swimming. And that was exciting to watch. Like, when you see this stroke, when you see that it's happening, and tomorrow morning we have an aerobic set based on these numbers. It's always like this. Like, I will not explain too much now, but you know what? I will not even have problem if you guys want to share these results every 2 weeks. Like, there are no secrets in swimming. If somebody tells me that's my book and I hide it, I have secrets, I will tell them to stop this BS, because that's not true. There are no secrets in swimming. We know nothing about the water. We are in the age of rock of swimming. All the science that we have inside, all the testing that we have inside are based on the ground. When you go in the water, it's maybe there are some value. I'm not saying there are no valuable tests, but there is nothing that works for Michael Phelps, for Dressel, for Adam Peaty, of any other name. Like, you can have tomorrow a guy that is called David Popovici that will change all the theories that you had so far, because it's a 17 years old, now it's 18, but he was 17 years old with his stroke, with his body shape, and he just destroyed all the theories that were built before. How he can swim faster than Anath and Adrian? How? There are stuff where we don't know about us interacting with the water. And I don't have an answer. I'm just trying to explore everything and try to understand something like other people do. It's just that I base my stuff on basic things: stroke count, times, lactate. That's it.
Mm. Well, first of all, you have my email, Luka. I would love to hear from you every 2 weeks about these sets and what you're doing with Barbara and Kayla and Erik and Robert. Second of all, I'm glad you brought up David. because the second you mentioned that you love technique, you're a technique nerd, I was like, okay, what do you think about David? What when you see Popovici swim, this 17-year-old skinny kid, he breaks the world record in the 100 freestyle. What do you see there as a guy who is big on technique?
So let's make a step backward about David. David has a few things that not everybody has. The first one, he has a coach, Adrian, 31, 32 years old, super quiet guy, super rooted. He's so rooted, so quiet, so cool. I love him. We are good friends. That's his strength. There is no fancy, too much, blah, blah, blah. I love the work they're doing. We had discussion because you can imagine like the attention get David for everybody around him. Do this, do this, do this, do this. My input was listen to Adrian as much as you can, because this boy will bring you far away. So he has an amazing person next to him. Second, his body shape. He's not human. He's a dolphin. If you see his body shape, he goes in like he's riding the wave when he's swimming. That's why he's allowing himself this huge catch. And the third point, he has a mentality that I had the chance to work with Ian Thorpe, for instance, to see some big guys around. And the day that I spoke with David first time, I just went back home and I said to my mom, I still spoke with my mom about everything. She knows sport. And it's like, Mom, prepare yourself. This boy will destroy everything in swimming soon. And I believe that we just saw him coming. I hope for him. I don't want to make pressure, but I believe that we are at the beginning of something very interesting happening regarding David. And his technique, that everything, like, when he's bending the arm, his body goes up just automatically. Why? Because he looks that he has three. You remember the jacket, the suits? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He has 3 jackets on him, but naturally. And this is amazing. It's amazing how he's controlling this, like his capacity to, even when he's walking, he has such a posture. And cool, I love yoga. I'm a yoga fanatic. So I can recognize some stuff in terms of posture. He has this insight. He has it by himself. So like, just these guys are doing something so unique that it's lovely. I have such a huge chance to watch this from close and learn from this, that is inspiring.
Well, thank you for your insight. We've reached out to Adrian. I've contacted him. We've talked a little bit. I'm trying to convince him to come on the podcast, but it's really interesting to hear that Adrian is such a quiet and grounded person, as you said, because when you talk to David, you certainly get that sense, right? You can tell from his mentality, from his cadence, that he's very within himself and he can stay within himself, on top of the marvelous technique and the 3 times shaken that is naturally his body shape. So now I have to ask about Ian Thorpe. You worked with Ian for a time. What stood out to you about him? What stood out about his mentality or the way he trained or his technique?
I mean, it was fun in Budapest. We were with Ian there and David, like discussing together. And what you can smell is the same. Ian made me understand one thing. Is literally is you have no excuses to not to be what you want to be. It was 2011. It was October 2011. We were on Singapore going to the World Cup. And we were discussing about some stuff, and he suddenly, I tell him, no, but that's not possible. And he said, just quit this shit. Stop telling me it's not possible. If you want something, you get it. And then this thing, like, it was about a cream for the face, by the way, my friend. We're talking about face cream. Okay? Like, for my eyebags. Like, we're not talking about technique or crazy stuff. That was the topic. Because I cannot say, stop saying that you cannot. I went home, and this thing, when you have something get bigger, that changed my profession. I said, you know what? I will be the thing that I want to be. And it's not being the best, is I will give the best condition to the swimmer to perform. It doesn't mean being the best. I will give the swimmer the best condition possible. That's my goal. My being the best is go back home, having my family healthy, happy, and chill. That's my being the best. I don't care to be the golden coach of the 20 Olympic. I don't care about this. But I want to prove that my system can work, giving the best condition possible to the swimmers to perform.
That seems like a great philosophy.
Yeah, man,
especially
it just brings you problems, because you go against the system. And trust me, there is a matrix. Did you watch Matrix, by the way?
Yeah.
Mr. Smith? Yeah, man. The Matrix is defending himself with a lot of Mr. Smith around. There are a lot.
Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry for this abstract like explanation, but yeah, that's it.
No worries. Okay, so one more question, one more nerd question. When you were with Ian, when you were coaching him, what was one thing you saw that stood out to you that he did in the pool?
Oh, Gennadi was coaching him. I was managing him and being assisting Gennadi on the pool deck. But what I saw about him is the floating, the floating. If this guy, I never saw this in my life. The ability to stay, of course, he has a big feet, blah, 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 all this stuff. Yes, he has a big arm. Yes, he has a big, he's stretched. Yes. But when he stays in the water, he's like a piece of wood, boom, staying up. And the first thing is swimming. The goal of the swimming is avoid resistance. Because double resistance require 4 times more, double resistance is 4 times more power, energy to go through. So you need to avoid resistance, AKA you need to be high in the water. That was the jacket was about, not about whatever, it's about connecting you and making you be high. So Ian has this natural insight. It was not his bodysuit. I saw him doing stuff in practice, even when he was not in the shape, just floating. And that's when I understood, okay, how we need to kick and how we need to hold the position. I'm telling you, Barbora Seemanova, it's a unique talent with a beautiful technique that I'm struggling so much with her kicking to come up and reproduce this, that it's not that easy. It's easy to say, but the kick of Ian, it was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, especially not the kick down, the kick up. You know, when you kick down, it's very easy. You whip at the end, and then the leg need to recover straight. That's Ian, and I can name another man. It's Alexander Popov. He was probably even better than Ian. I don't know. Ian, if you're listening, sorry. Don't get angry on me again. But that's the reality. These two guys, they have something special. So if you ask me about Ian the nerd, is this. It's the ability to kick up, and this thing is lifting your body up and makes you float much higher.
Interesting. And again, these are the little nuances that you don't really think about, or that maybe we don't talk about enough on Swim Swam. So thank you for bringing these things up. I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, it's about technique, please, anytime. Just again, maybe people don't agree, disagree, but it doesn't matter. Again, nobody has the solution, because you bring another David, you're right. And then it's coming the new David, this guy is right. So I'm trying to put together, have my own philosophy and try to put it together. That's it.
Yeah. So going back to just your philosophy and your small group of athletes now, how do you determine training schedules, or just a month to month, week to week? Again, when you are sometimes with them, but sometimes not with them, obviously you're communicating all the time, but just, again, you have so many different kinds of athletes. How do you decide what training will look like for any given period?
So starting from Erik Persson, he has his personal coach, Carl-Johan Götstrom. I hope I said correctly the name. He's an amazing guy. So that's probably the one of the most unique cases where two coaches work together and there is no ego. We love each other. We love our team. And so when he's not with me, Johan is taking care fully about the plan there. When he's coming with me, we discuss the plan before and then we execute. So Erik is very easy. It's super easy. And by the way, Erik it's such an easy person to work with. In Iron, he was our 35th pick. At the end of the story, he was the top 4 in terms of points and the best team member ever. If I create a team, I want Erik with me. If I go to war, I take Erik with me before any champion. And by the way, Erik is vice world champion of 200 breaststroke. So it's high level. But so with Erik, it's very easy in terms of organization. With others, I have a season plan, which I should show you these ones. The season plan, it works by by periodization, by periods of work. And each period has his description of what I want to achieve every week. I have my goals for every week. So wherever I am in the world, whatever we're doing, we're just seeing what was the last week. Did we achieve all the goals? Did we achieve the volume? Are we in the correct physiological work? Aerobic, anaerobic, power, whatever it is. If everything's correct, okay, let's move on. The next one, tell us to do this. And it's very easy. I have this goal this week. I can build a week in 30 minutes. So that's how I'm working. I have goals for every single week of the year, and I'm adapting this constantly, of course. So if you're with me or not, if we know the results of what you're doing, it's very easy to adapt it and to know what do we need next.
So for this period of training right now, October, there's not a ton of competitions that you mentioned you're going to a meet soon. We got World Cups coming up, but it's kind of a lower key, probably a higher training emphasis time of year to emphasize training. What are your goals for, this week, last week, next week?
Okay, this week, do you want me to read it? Like, I can tell you exactly what's going on. Like, I would not like to,
yeah, I'd love to.
Where is Barbora Seemanova? Okay, goal number 1 of this week. It's transition from aerobic power into anaerobic resistance. So which means we are still working the aerobic area. It's mostly aerobic, but we start moving into an anaerobic resistance, which means hard work, but a little bit longer. So I don't know, 1800 meter on very high quality, on high tempo, on a high pace, sorry. So we move from a classical, all these swimmers are swimming 200 meters. Even Kayla in the moment is doing a program of 200 because we have time with her to elaborate her stroke, to work on her strength and to improve her weaknesses. So it's through like genetic work when we're doing this and a lot of efficiency. Like today, I can tell you today the 2 girls did first the efficiency test and after 50-50s, each 10 going faster. And they finished the last 10 on an average of 50 seconds, 30.1 and 30.0 with 23 strokes. So if you understand a little bit, 23 strokes for a woman swimming 30 seconds, it's pretty fancy after 50-50s and the efficiency test before. So this is exactly kind of work. You mix efficiency into longer work. I call this anaerobic resistance. So you resist on anaerobical work. And then we finish with was 850s, pull boy bend, all out 25 meter fly, 25 relax. So it was a 7K practice, 6.9. They were very unhappy. There was 6.9, not 7. So why we didn't swim 7K? We're not doing this often, like just like this. And I was saying this with the specific goals. And so the goal of this week, I said this, it's transition from the 2 zones, the efficiency test, and finishing with the race simulation. So on the weekend, we're going to jump and do the first 50 of the 200 for 4 times, plus all the rest, all the practice. But just understanding how to start, of course, is not going to be the 200 they're going to swim in 1 week in Czech Republic and then in Berlin. That's going to be slower. But that's the 50 in Melbourne in December. So I will not say how much needs to open Seemanova. That's private. But she needs to hit this time with this tempo and this stroke count for 4 times, plus all the work around. But I have the specific goal. And by the way, on the side, there is a testing period in the gym. So this week in the gym, we're doing some testing to see if the strength is moving the direction that we want, because the next week we move from resistance in the pure strength in the gym also. So with this information, then I would love to show you this once, but not live, to show what happened, how is the 2 weeks program. In the 2 weeks program, all this description. It's a game. I have like a big board and I'm putting what I want in each practice, and then it's built and have everything under control. Without this, I'll be lost. I'm too chaotic. This is keeping my chaos inside. But then I write the practice 5 minutes before. On the pool deck, I write the practice because I know what's my main goal. I know my main set. I know the secondary goal. It's not rocket science. It's not that complicated. I'm doing this since 15 years. I can't put these 3 things together. I'm not that. But yeah, but without this frame, without this organization, it will be extremely complicated to me to do this.
Mm-hmm. I love it. That's great, and it makes sense when you break it down like that. Someone might be saying you're writing your practice 5 minutes before your workout. Like that seems a little disorganized, but as you said, it's like you have your goal, you know what you want to hit that day, so it's like you just kind of fill in the rest with whatever set works for that.
This is Dave Marsh. Dave Marsh, he said, like, I will not write something because I need to write it. I will let them swim the warm up. I'm doing this before the warm-up, but then I can change. I see, okay, you're like, I see you like for Seemanova, not very often happen. I don't like the hip rotation many times. So we stop this, we change completely, we go on the stretch cord and we do 20-minute stretch cord on the hip rotation. What I'm gonna write on my plane, hip rotation, stretch cord, how much time? I don't know. So it doesn't make release. I have no problem to change if it's meaningful to the goal. We need to keep the volume. If the volume is okay, good. Volume is good. If it's fitting the goals, good. So what does it like? I will do what is the best for her. And we will go again. With 10 people, you cannot do this alone. I cannot. With 4, yes, because I know exactly what she needs. What I think that I know. Sorry, wait. I think that I know what she needs. It's a big difference. I don't have really the arrogance to say that's working 100%, but I'm sure that's working 100%. But like, I will not try to tell you, you must think as I'm doing. No, buddy, think whatever you like.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for that insight. So then in terms of your personal life, just managing the travel, managing kind of being all over the place, I'm just kind of curious what your travel essentials are. When you're going from place to place, what do you always take with you, or what do you make sure that you have with you at all times?
Oh, wow. I was not ready for this. Let me think. What I have with me? I have almost a 2-year-old boy. He's almost like missing less than 1 month. I have something from him each time. Something can be a sock, can be something stupid, like I need something. But what I have with me, it's my book. Like me with my book, I'm lost. My training book. I write everything, and my computer, of course. I was in the Philippines, and my computer just kaput, finished. So the first 10 days, man, I was panicking. Everybody, what's the plan tomorrow? I don't know. I was panicking, really, thinking about the practices. And I never wrote any practice on the pool deck. Everything was ready before. Because if I go without my computer on the pool deck, man, I'm freaking out. Because then I need to improvise and do randomly, and I hate random. So definitely is the computer and my book, because I write everything first. Those are the two super essential stuff. The third, clothes. I love to have proper clothes. I don't want to look like a gypsy. I don't want to look ugly in terms of moving around. It doesn't mean that it needs to be stylish or expensive. No, but it's my style. It are my clothes, are my shoes. Like I went for 3 weeks in the Philippines. I have 5 pairs of shoes with me. And I have some of my friends, colleagues, they go with 1 pair of shoes. Like, no, I will not do that. There is no way that I'm doing this. Absolutely. So yeah, I always ask more space. I like to be spoiled in any way possible. I'm just giving you insight. That's not gonna help my image to get better, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, I love to enjoy life. Definitely. I don't want to be. Please don't take this bad. And whoever is looking at this, don't take this bad. I don't want to look like a unhappy, old, ugly, unemotional coach on the pool deck. I don't want to be this. I don't want that my swimmer is looking at me and not thinking, oh, you know what? That's a cool job. Because I grew up thinking that coaching was a horrible job. I don't know why I started, actually. But I hated swimming when I quit. When I quit swimming, I was the happiest man in the world. And then something happened to bring me back. I believe in karma. So I think that was my destiny to do this. But I don't want to be so. When the swimmers are, you can like me or dislike me, but what we are doing, it's cool. I know this. What we are doing, it's cool. So that's a football coach. Sorry, football, European football. I mean, American football. That's a basketball. Everybody looks at the high level coach in basket, from the Celtics to the Lakers, whatever it is. It's a cool position. Steve Kerr. Who doesn't want to be Steve Kerr? Who doesn't want? And now name me how many coaches, like kids, know I want to be that coach. They don't want to be Luka. I'm not saying I want to be that one, but I'm saying we are responsible to make swimming better. If we want to sell swimming to the media, if we want to sell swimming to businessmen, to invest money in us and to pay us more, we need to sell an image that is attractive. Not attractive in say beauty or ugliness. No, attractive is on style and its appearance. It's on being a good role model for younger coaches, swimmers, or just random people. We want to be a role model, and we are not at the moment. Yeah.
Do you I mean, I feel like a big part of that, or missing part of that, ISL was trying to fill the gap, right? Which you were a big part of. I'm curious, now that you were in a completely different coaching situation, what was the difference for you or how did your role differ from what you're doing now with your very small group of athletes to being the head coach of an ISL team where you have a big team of pros from all walks of life doing very different things?
First of all, I have to tell you, Olympic final achievement as a coach, whatever Olympics, it's here. ISL was here. Like it was not the same sport. I guess you guys don't like ISL that much. I didn't receive what I'm supposed to receive, so I'm not excited about. But ISL, it's pure future. If somebody is against ISL, you should really think if they're supporting swimming. And I don't care. I have many friends, coaches that are against. I say, guys, you didn't try this. And again, I'm not defending the management. I'm not defending people that are not paying. I'm there. I'm in the same situation. I ask to my staff to be paid, not me first. I ask whatever, like the money for me is the last of the issues. I'm not driven by money. I want to make money, buddy. Don't misunderstand me. I want it. I want a lot of money, but that's not what is driving. I believe success will bring money, not my demand. So forget the money now, okay? Please. Of course, the swimmers complain about it, and they're right, but that's not the point. But the thing is, ISL was the NBA of swimming. Purely, no discussion. And to work with this stuff, with these swimmers, Iron started without our best 6 swimmers. Milak was not there, Katinka was not there, this guy was not there, Emre was not there. Like, it was a huge, I came in, was like, holy crap, what I'm gonna do now? So we said, guys, you know what? We're gonna do a team. We're gonna be a real team, we're gonna train for 2 weeks. And by the end of the story, we were probably the best team in terms of improvement. And it was beautiful. It was such an amazing experience to coach them and to make them, these guys were committed. They were committed to work hard. They committed to listen. They were committed to follow us, basically to war. We were going to war. We had tactics. We established trash talking. That's what I suggested ISL. Like, we need to create drama inside. I was very happy to be the evil, like the heel of the situation. We need this if we want to sell the product. If we want to sit on our chair, count kilometers and make Olympic medalists, because it's possible. That's what the coaches prove us. Sit on the chair, very tough program, and you have Olympic champion. Yes, true, they're right. I'm not saying they're not right. What I'm saying is, we're not gonna sell this to a new level. We will not compete with football, with basketball, with the UFC. We will not compete. They're gonna eat us. They are eating us. We are eaten already. But we are swimming. We have a power that nobody has. We are more than track and field. We are a unique sport. Nobody will ever shut swimming down because the world needs swimming. That's a fact. And they need us, and we're not able to sell this product better. We have the responsibility to try to do this. I'm trying. I might fail. Probably will happen. But at least I will, I will leave, drive on the sunset and say, like, you know what? I really did my best. And I can go to sleep with much less friend than before, because I have much less friend through this story. But at least I try to do what I think is good for the swimming movement.
It's interesting. ISL brought a whole new world to swimming. I mean, it brought a whole new, it was a revelation, and I loved it. I loved ISL. And obviously, like you said, the management, people getting paid didn't go great for some involved. But like you said, it was the future, right? It got swimmers engaged in a whole new way. It took people out of retirement, right? Who are now retired, now that ISL is not happening at the moment. But it's really interesting. We were just having this conversation the other day of, you have to drive narratives to get people engaged in sports. It's not about what's happening on the field. It's not about what's happening in the pool. It's about the narratives. It's about the drama. That's why people tune in. And that doesn't mean people actually have to be arguing or be hating each other. That just means that we need something to sell so that people will get involved. And it's great to hear that you understood that. You're like, I'll be the bad guy. That's fine. But we need to get people going, right? We need motivation, as you were saying, which is super cool to hear that Team Iron had that. And you were working with not just 4 or 5 motivated athletes, but a whole entire team that came together without their best players. And like you said, made some real noise by the end of the season.
Yeah. And by the way, was not with an Italian, was not roses and flowers with every swimmer. We have some tension inside. Don't worry, like bloody tension. But it was at the end, I thank these guys because they made me better. I had to fight with adult swimmers that are bigger than me, stronger than me. And I need to tell them, man, you're out. But at the end, I thanked them. I said, really, thank you. You made me a better coach and a better person, because I'm feeling more confident now. And this is the process. It's not always winning. Sometimes we lose. We came 6th. We didn't win anything, but I feel like a winner. We won that season. Because I know what we went through. My staff did, the commitment of the coaches, and the physio. By the way, in the Zenta project is Jan Herber, also the physio that used to work all his life with the Dutch team, and he's working with us now because he believes in this madness. And for me, that's the best compliment. I don't need other compliments. This man that I admire so much in so many years, because that's true. If you see his dryland, you understand how he's precious. He wants to work with us because he likes the idea of the project. Man, that's my money. This is the real motivation for me. Let's make this medal, and then all the rest will come. Last year, I had one of my best friend, Da Silva Rilson, which I didn't treat well in terms of communication. And I maybe use this moment to apologize to him because I'm not perfect neither, far away from this. These guys during the ISL, they were amazing. Like, they were listening. Everybody was working absolutely on the same situation. I will give you like an insight. We were thinking on the last match, on the last day, we were 70 points behind the Italians, the Centurions. After one day, 70 points is a lot. And we're like, are we going to lose on purpose tomorrow and tank? So thinking the next season, we're going to have a best choice. And I said to my staff, it's my decision, but if all the staff, it's against my decision, I will follow you. Doesn't matter if I'm the head coach. We vote, all of them voted to try to win, which was 70 points behind. And I said, guys, that's no sense, but let's do it. I committed first 100%. We make theories how to cheer the guys because we were on the lane next to the block, or next to the, how do you call this, to the box. We were exactly there. So we decide who was staying there, what time, who was cheering, how to make stress the others also. That was an amazing game. And again, we beat the Italians by 1.5 points. That was awesome. But even there was some beef and stuff. I love the Italian. I mean, I'm Swiss from the Italian part. I love the Italians. Like, but it looked like it was some war between. When I love this guy, Matteo, the coach, I admire him. I seriously admire him, what he's doing and what he accomplished, to not speak about Federica or other swimmers. But for the moment, I can tell you, it was not pleasant. But if television was there and was selling that moment, everybody would like to know what's going to be the next between these two teams. Everybody, because that's how it's working sport. And again, I love these guys, but that moment, look, there was like, oh, there is something happening. Let people think whatever they want. If we're selling this and we are swimming fast, because we're swimming fast, that was the funny part. We were doing our job. Let them think whatever they want. That's. But again, I don't know if you are ready for this. If the swimming world is ready to change so dramatically. So I will definitely not beef around. Don't worry. I will not go to the Olympics to beef with anyone. And you will say, this guy said no. But definitely I will go on my way if somebody doesn't like it.
And I think it's a lot easier to have that kind of beef if it's a team thing, right? If there's a team rivalry versus individuals, because that kind of spreads the pressure out, right? That it's not like, oh, one guy's a good guy, one girl's a bad guy. It's a team versus a team, and you can kind of pick your side and your allegiances. But so you mentioned Zenta Pro Swimming, which is a project that you and others have been involved in. Tell me a little bit about that, and what's the goal for there?
The goal is it's very simple. Zenta Pro Swimming is, it has been created by the request of some swimmers to train together. It became bigger, and after one season and plenty of delusion, personal delusion because of the behavior of people, we cut it smaller. We said, okay, we have 4 people. We believe that each of them in Paris can have a very important role. So you can never say, of course we want to win. We want to win with world record. Okay, that's the point. And whoever says something different, it should change up. Like, we are working, that's what we are dreaming of. What is the realistic goal? It's to be in the final. Because, you can have a new David Popovici coming out, you will not beat him. And all your plans are not bad because a guy like him came out. So if you are 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, because your opponents, competitor, did it, it's nature. We don't know even how. So if we recognize they're better, I have no problem to recognize. I love to say to somebody, hey man, congratulations, you beat me. You did better. I will work my soul off to make sure this doesn't happen anymore in my life. I hate to lose. I have no problem to lose. I want to learn from everything. But each time that I learn, I go back home. So this is what our idea is. Our idea is we work together and we want to be protagonists in Paris. And I don't care if it's Zenta, I don't care. They are themselves. It's the identity of giving swimmers the right space to develop their own consciousness about elite sport. It sounds a little bit philosophical, but that's the real. Creating a space where they can be themselves and push them on the limits where it hurts. where it's uncomfortable. Make uncomfortable become comfortable. Love the fact that you suffer, but you suffer because you love this. Because you know that when you finish a barbecue and somebody's telling you, let's go play basketball, I'm 40 now, but I will jump out with my full body. I'm vegetarian, so I will not eat meat, but whatever I'm eating, I will jump up and go play basketball like a donkey. Nobody will stop me. But the theory is, but you're not tired, you're not full. No, because I love doing it. And that's the same idea. There is no early, there is no late, there is no Sunday, there is no Monday, there is no failure or success. It's just we need to improve. The plan this week on Sunday is to go to swim 3K with the swimmers. I go in the water with them and we do technique. Catches, position, better position. We do yoga in the water. We do all this stuff. Do they have to do this? No. They can stay home. Yes. Yes, they will come. Because it's a pleasure.
So you guys swim, does that mean you all swim 7 days a week?
No, not always. No. Especially like I'm talking about Seemanova. Oh, she's gonna be happy how I said her name. With her, like it's very often that we take, like Saturday we had one practice, and then we say, you know what? We do Saturday afternoon gym. We don't swim after the gym, but we go for 1 hour on Sunday. I said, yeah, cool. That's a cool idea. Can I do sauna after? Cool. We have a beautiful center, which is a sponsor. And please, one thing, allow me this. You mentioned Tenerife. These people in Tenerife, what they're doing for me, it's amazing. So I just need to mention this, that the training center in Tenerife, the 3T center, first of all, it's one of the best in the world. And that's everybody that goes there can tell you. I'm not trying to sell you air, but how they help me, that's unique. If somebody wants a professional place to train in Europe and all year long good weather, for me, there's no better place in the world. So I needed just to let people this know, because they're the only entity that doing sacrifices to help this crazy project. And I own them this. These people, Kevin, Heike, guys, just keep going like this. Thank you. And here in Austria, I have like a same commitment with a 5-star wellness center. So basically we are swimming next to the little bit older people, which is amazing. It's such a different context, but we are swimming outdoor. So we have 0 degrees or minus something. We're outdoor because the water is 28, 29 degrees. So they don't feel cold. They're amazing. I'm freezing, but who cares about this? No, like they are really good. That's the idea. So always swimming, never swimming. There is no always swimming. Like if you when you love your wife, when you love your partner, you want to be in contact 24/7 because there is love. And I see the swimming. You don't need to abuse, but at the same time, if you like to do something, there is no reason to stop.
What it sounds like to me is that I need to come film some practices in Austria and Tenerife at these amazing facilities with you guys, because
you pay your flight. I take care of it for you. Don't worry about anything. In Austria, my family is running the hotel business. We have to just pick your flight. Tell me when you land, and I will take care of you. No, because I would be proud to show this. We are not. I'm very confident. I sounds maybe arrogant. I'm not. I'm just confident that what we are doing is good for the swimmers and it's good for humanity. We need to do good stuff for the mankind. I'm not kidding. That's not now philanthropy, philosophy, or semantic. This is really what I believe. I believe in karma again. If I don't act well, bad things gonna happen. So what we are doing, I believe it's good. It's gonna be successful. I don't know. Some people don't believe this. I have no problem with this. Everybody's free. But if you want to come to see with your eyes what is this work, you just need to tell me the date. I don't have to tell you when. You will tell me when, because I have no secrets. I will not trick you. You can tell me one day before the trip, and you will have the truth in front of your eyes.
You've been listening to the Swim Swam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take Swim Swam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.